pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead.
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton.
Present.
Mr. Reagan.
Present.
Mr. Christie.
Present.
Mr. Buckle.
Present.
Mr. Wisely. Mr. Borchers.
Approval of the November 12th minutes. Any additions or corrections?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Have motion before us, proper second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead.
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Christie.
Yes.
Mr. Buckle.
Yes.
This is the time we have set for public comment. Anybody wishing to address the Drainage Board, please state your name and go over here and address and your concerns.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Cheryl Dawson, and I live at 4214 West State Road 28. My family farm is there at the corner of 28 and Wheeling. And I'd like to address the board about the drainage ditch. It's called Killbuck Creek that runs through my farm. And I brought a map just so you would all know what it looks like, what we have. It's just a blown up picture of what we can have.
Thank you.
I'd like to address the board.
Just a moment. I don't know whether she's done yet or not, Mr. Swingley.
I'm sorry, I'm not done.
We'll get you, Jim.
10 years ago this month, an excavator came in and cleared a section that's probably close to 3 to 4 football field lengths. And when an excavator does that, it's heavy equipment and it wipes out all trees except for the very largest ones. And it really changes the ecosystem of that ditch and the top of it when that happens. And there's so much wildlife in this area. There are woods that are adjacent to this creek. And I'd like to preserve the trees, even the smaller ones that are good. We have some young walnuts growing back there. But anyway, on your maps, I apologize, I didn't mark it. I hope you can figure out where Wheeling is and relative to State Road 28. My farm's right at the corner, and my farm is outlined in yellow and blue on this map. But I've tried to highlight a section. The green highlight is a section that we have already cleaned. My farm helpers and I, 3 of us, back in October, we went in and removed 2 trees that had fallen into the ditch and all of the other logs or branches that had fallen in. And we also cut some mulberry trees that were right next to that bridge on Wheeling. Just north of 28 on Wheeling, the creek runs under this little bridge. And those branches of those mulberry trees were starting to overhang the railing. And I know the highway department probably prefers that not be the case. So we actually cut those. And then we started moving from west to east. And we cleaned all of everything in the ditch. And we had a good system. We cut a path maybe this wide of brush. And a lot of it's honeysuckle, which we don't want. And we're developing a plan of how to attack the honeysuckle along the ditch on my farm and in the woods as well. And we're going to probably start working on that this summer. But what we did is we went this whole distance from Wheeling, and the water actually runs from west to east going through my farm. So we followed that. We went from west to east. The green section we have already cleaned. Now the highlight that's orange, and I might add the section that we cleaned, I've got 2 black marks on there. I own the land on both sides of the creek in that area where the black marks are. They're just ink marks. And then part of the orange that we have not cleaned, I colored it orange because it's the hazard area. It's the area where we haven't cleaned yet. And but we have walked it. We actually get in there and walk it in the creek because it wasn't high this year. And there is some cleanup work there. And we think the trees that fell this year fell in the storm we had last April, probably, because I had trees down in my yards at that time. There were a lot of buildings destroyed along 28 back in April. So, but I just wanted you to know, and we have a really good system. We have a man cutting the trees with a chainsaw in the ditch, and then another person in the ditch that then hands the debris up or tosses it up on top of the ditch, and then a third person up on top puts it in the trailer to haul away. And then we've also cut a lot of firewood. If the wood's still good, we are cutting for firewood, and we've got that stacked along the edge of my field, and we will pick that up too. But I just wanted to ask, I'm not sure if I'm on the list for debrushing. I did talk with my neighbors to the north, this orange area that still needs to be cleaned. The Davis family, they are well aware of what we're doing. We talked about it. And so I would be cleaning for them as well as for me, because we would clean the entire ditch. We wouldn't leave off one side of it. And this orange area has some overhang where honeysuckles are growing on the slope of the bank, and they're overhanging kind of low to the water. And in that case, we're actually cutting them back because they would catch debris as it moves downstream. We're not removing the stumps or the roots on the banks of the ditch because we don't want more soil erosion there. So we're leaving the stumps on the slope of the banks and the roots. And then the area we cut isn't big, but we're cutting those all the way to the ground so we don't trip. And we're not cutting any good trees while we do this. As we clean up going forward to try to get rid of honeysuckle, we will cut away like gnarly mulberries that aren't good and are dying, or they're crowding out good trees. We'll cut them. We'll also get rid of the honeysuckle. My farm is organic. This was our 6th year. It's been a real experience and learning experience and experiment. And I hope to keep it going, and I hope with time we'll get better at it. We'll be changing some things up this next year. But what I wanted to say is along that ditch, we can't broadcast spray any herbicides because of the organic certification. But our plan is as we cut the honeysuckle, and we'll probably break it up in so many feet per year to try to attack it. But we're going to just, on the stump, when we cut them down, we're going to just brush them with the brush killer and try to kill it that way without actually broadcast spraying. So anyway, I'm hoping I'm not on the list for the excavator to come in, because there's really no selectivity when that happens. Everything's wiped out except for the very biggest of trees, and there are good trees back there. There are really young walnuts growing that would probably be wiped out if that happened. And it would also, I think, would be harder for the wildlife if that would happen. So I guess I'm asking if I'm on the list to be removed. This green section that I've highlighted, we worked on it for 9 days. They weren't full days. Most of them were half days. And over the span of about 3 weeks. And I spent a little over $2,022. I don't expect compensation from the county for that, and I'm still paying my ditch fees also. I just want the ability to conserve trees and do it in a way that's not real destructive to the area.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Borser, you got any? You realize what she's asking?
Yeah, I've told her in the past if she won't let us bring equipment on to clear the ditch and she won't let us maintain it by mowing or spraying, that she'd have to maintain it.
Okay,
Obviously, she's
so-
doing a great job of it, so.
Oh.
We're aware of it. That's
Yep,
maintained.
100%.
Okay. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Mr. Swingley.
Well, I'm Jim Swingley. I can probably talk louder than your PA system you have here. I have no idea what she said or who she's with. All I could see is her hand signal. I apologize that I'm getting older. I don't hear as well. I don't see as well. I can't walk. I have a caregiver bring me. So could you share with me what this lady had to say and who she was?
She told us how she is taking care of her ditch, county ditch, and that she wants us to respect her wishes on how she's taken care of it.
And what gifts would that be?
The one at her place. No, I'm sorry.
This is Killbuck Creek.
Killbuck Creek. Killbuck
Okay.
Creek.
The northeast corner of Wheeling and 28.
I know right where that's at.
Yeah.
I've been around here a long time,
We understand
even
that.
though I can't hear and I can't
She's
see, but, I had no idea what she was talking about.
she's an organic farmer and wants to maintain that ability to do that, and wants us to respect her wishes.
Understand?
Thank you, Jim. Any other?
Can we turn this thing up so I can hear all you people?
I have no idea.
There ain't no way.
Maybe we better check with Sherry. She's one of the commissioners.
We'll put it on our list.
We'll do our best, Jim.
Was there anything else you wanted to say?
Not right at this time.
Okay, we'll allow you to come back. Anyone else wishing to speak? We'll get to that.
Hi, my name is Max Hayden. I live at 11250 South Honey Creek Road. And I'd like to have that Walsh Creek dredged. It's not been dredged for I don't know how many years, ever since I've lived there and Hal's lived there. But and it needs to be dredged all down across 700 and across and down by 400. It's the bank's up like 2-3 foot from the bottom of the creek, and there's big trees in there, fell everywhere across it, and my ditches aren't draining. I keep having them come in and ditch and drain, but they say that the bottom of the creek needs to be pulled up, and it's a mess. I mean, the creek is. It's got 2-foot trees laying down in it and across it, and the banks is all coming in, and it's just a mess.
Max, what'd you say your address was again? I'm sorry.
Walsh.
Address?
Oh, 11250 South Honey Creek Road, Daleville, Indiana.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
At least the surveyor has it now on his list.
Yeah, I talked to him earlier this last
Okay,
month. to come in.
But at least you're starting it up the right place with the surveyor, in my opinion.
Okay,
Thank you.
The area you're talking about, where is that from 400 South and 67? From there, where are you talking about?
Oh, you should get off on Honey Creek Road off of 67, old 67, and you go south on Honey Creek Road. It's right there at the crossroads of 700 South and Honey Creek Road.
Oh, 700 South.
Yeah, and Walsh's Creek goes underneath Honey Creek, underneath the road there, and then goes across, and then goes across 700, and then goes on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak on a public comment at this point in time? New business. Approval, a hearing on the Honey Creek reconstruction. Mr. Surveyor?
Yes, we had a file petition to this office for a reconstruction on the new drain that we accepted last month. So right now, the process is for the board to approve the reconstruction process. And then if that's approved, then we would select an engineer to go out, survey the land, survey that small ditch that we took in as a regulated drain, so we can now actually work on it, because we couldn't do anything with it since it was built, because it was in the road right of way. It wasn't ours. So now that it's considered a regulated drain, we can now move forward with the petition to reconstruct. So right now the board has a hearing to decide whether or not they want to move on with the reconstruction of this small ditch. And it may include on up to Hog Creek, depending on what the engineers decide when they look at the area.
Do we have adequate landowner support on the petition?
Yes.
Mr. Swingley, would you like to say anything about the Hog Creek reconstruction?
Is that what he was referring to?
Yes, sir.
And that is the petition from Dale Connor? Is that what we're referring to now?
Yes.
Okay. And an engineer has not been hired.
We may hire an engineer today after the reconstruction is approved, if we do that.
Is that engineer here today?
No.
Well, from what I understand, that the Connors want that ditch opened up from about a half a mile, maybe 60 rods south of Centennial up to Centennial, which is 100 north. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. And your engineer would have to decide if there's enough room to put that water in there quicker, I would assume. Because we have a problem with Hog Creek that needs to be dredged. The last time it was dredged was in either 1946 or 48. My memory kind of slips me back then. I remember all the rocks I had to pick up that they dredged out as a wee pup. My daddy always kept me working, you know. So after that is discussed, then we'll talk about who the engineer is, so we can visit with him as a taxpayer.
Understand?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address the Hog Creek reconstruction? Any comments from the board? Questions? Concerns?
I motion to move forward with the reconstruction of this new section of Hog Creek.
I'll second it. Have a motion before us, properly second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton,
Yes.
Ms. Riggin,
Yes.
Mr. Christie,
Yes.
Mr. Balko.
Yes.
In addition, on this topic, Mr. Borchers and I had a Zoom call with Lockmuller Engineering to talk about this reconstruction project. And they have an engineer that is assigned to the project. I am in favor of hiring Lockmuller to provide their services for this reconstruction project. The way this would work is I have a contract now that would be a blanket contract authorizing them to work on this. They would begin work, and at the next drainage board meeting, they will have a proposal on what their engineering services for this reconstruction will be.
Do you have a ballpark idea of what we're talking about?
I don't, but on the call that the surveyor and I had, we defined the scope of the project, the geographical scope, and the problems that have been discussed so far, and that would be where they would begin. But I do not have an estimate.
Was that Anthony Goodnight,
Anthony Goodnight was on the call.
Angie Moyer?
She was, as well as another engineer from the Fort Wayne office.
What's the wishes of the board?
I make a motion that we hire Lockmuller Engineering.
I second that.
Have a motion before us, properly second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mr. Ginn,
Yes.
Mr. Christie,
Yes.
Mr. Buckle.
Yes.
Mr. Surveyor, request for Ferguson.
Yeah, I had a gentleman contact me from Earthworks Land Services, a guy by the name of Rick Wood. He's putting in a perimeter drain, brand new perimeter drain for a client. And he would like to tie in a 6-inch tile into the Ferguson drain. Right now, if you look on your all that I gave you, there's a chance that he's going to tie into the farmer's tile, and he's in talks with the farmer that farms that. Which in that case, I don't really know if the drainage board has a whole lot of say if a private tile ties into another private tile. But there's also a chance where he'll just take it straight into the Ferguson Creek. I don't see a problem with this. It's a small perimeter drain around probably about an acre, if that. From where they're putting in a new septic. I don't see a problem with the perimeter drain to drain that off, tying into the Ferguson. It's a small tile compared to the other tiles that are tied into that, and it's a wide open ditch. So I'd give it a favorable recommendation. The reason he doesn't know where he's at is the farmer's on vacation, but he would like to get this finished before our next meeting. So I asked the board if we could go ahead and give him permission to tie into the Ferguson Creek. And then if, either way he's doing it, if he's gonna tie into the farmer's tile or if he's gonna tie straight into the ditch. I mean, I told him if I was him, I would just run it straight into the ditch, brand new tile. He can keep it on grade. He's gonna have a clean out there. He's gonna have a varmint guard and all that stuff. It was a pretty well laid out plan. So I'd give it a favorable recommendation to let Earthworks tie into the Ferguson ditch.
Mr. Lawyer, do you see any problem?
No, I do not see any problem with that.
Thank you.
I motion to approve tying into the Ferguson Creek.
Second.
Have a motion before us, proper second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mr. Ginn,
Yes.
Mr. Christie,
Yes.
Mr. Buckle.
Yes.
Mr. Surveyor,
Brian Winter contacted me about tying into trip number 6 of Studebaker. This is at Walnut and 800 North. He contacted me the day of our last meeting. So I contacted Mr. Hamilton, or I talked to Mr. Hamilton when we were looking at the Abe McConnell. Do you want to go ahead and take this on this, or?
Yes, so Mr. Winter had already hired a contractor. He's already doing construction on the site. He would like to tie a 15-inch drain into the existing 18-inch regulated drain to drain, I believe it was about 150 acres. That would be about 2 million gallons of water a day. He would be draining into that. Unless the surveyor has any objection to this, I will make a motion to approve that.
I do not. We do have a couple sinkholes to fix on site. With the snow, I couldn't walk it to find them. So this next week, if there's no snow on the ground, I'll walk them, find them, and I'll hire a contractor. There's 2 small sinkholes on our county main, but with that, I don't see a problem with it.
And the contractor knows how to do it.
Correct.
You're trusting.
Yeah, they're good.
I'll second.
have a motion before us, properly second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead,
Yes.
Ms. Hamilton, Mr. Hamilton,
Yes.
Ms. Riggin,
Yes.
Mr. Christie.
Yes.
Mr. Buckle.
Yes.
Old business, Mr. Surveyor.
Last month we had a question about Mr. Russell and the property across from basically John Deere in that area, and if there was any regulated drains, because there's a tile in there. I think they're building was it a gas station or something, I believe, and he was worried about the drainage. I did go back and look at the maps. We have no regulated drains in that area. Closest thing we really have is the Hamilton Miller / Muncie Creek that runs by the old Kmart. We have no underground tiles in that area until you get out closer to the bypass. So I was just letting the board know that we don't have any regulated drains there.
Mr. Russell did send me a map of the existing 10-inch tile,
Uh-huh.
which I assume is a private tile.
Correct.
As this project moves forward, we would like to make sure that that private tile is maintained. And I think he will do everything that he can from his end, but if you are on any zoning
Okay.
meetings or anything else, he would just like that the developer be aware of that existing tile.
So the existing tile runs through where they're gonna develop?
It runs diagonally through the wooded area, from the northeast corner to the southwest corner.
Yeah, if you can get me a map, and
Awesome.
then, once plans come across my desk, maybe they could enter into a mutual tile or a mutual tile agreement of some sort to allow, upkeep on that, since it's kind of out of our jurisdiction, but I haven't had any plans or anything come across my desk yet, but if you could get me that drawing, I'll put it in a file. I appreciate it.
I will email that to you.
Debrushing list, Mr. Surveyor.
Yeah, last meeting, the board requested me to get a list of some debrushing jobs. I know the whole county needs debrushed, don't get me wrong. So I put a few down here. The reasons why they're on there and a map of each. I don't know if we have to decide on all these today, but it's a starting off point. And if, when you guys give me the go-ahead, I'll write the specs up and we can take some quotes on a few of these or however many you guys want to do.
Would you say this is comparable to what you've been doing in the past few years?
I haven't done this much in the past few years. Last few years, I've been trying to hold back some money so we can do large projects like this. But in the years past, yeah, we usually do about half a dozen of these areas like this, about a mile, half mile, debrush, and then enter them into the herbicide program for maintenance.
Mr. Christie and I were just speaking about our numbers for this year seem to be down a little bit.
As far as,
And with so much need out there, we would hope, our imbalance would be going down, so this should help alleviate it in a start.
yeah,
But, and people could still call in and get their name on here, correct?
oh, absolutely, it's a running list. We just had another one get added today, probably, as soon as I go out there and look at it.
This is just getting us a little start. Appreciate that.
I believe this is a good start. As you said, we have a long list across the county that we need to address. I would like to move forward as fast as possible with getting specs written up on clearing these and getting quotes. In addition to this, there was the Abe McConnell reconstruction project where we walked a portion of the No Name Creek, which already has significant restrictions. I would like to add that to the immediate list to be addressed. And there was also the complaint by Tom Spangler on the Edward Reese 203 ditch. I'd like to add that to the.
It's on there.
Is it on there? Okay, great then.
Yep.
Tom, is there any kind of
So number
update
6.
from, Banning as far as the Abe McConnell project?
I have not heard anything. I think last I talked to them, it was pretty much if the weather held out perfect, they could get the surveyors out there, especially for the topography of the last 500 yards or whatever that was. And obviously we had a bunch of snow and now we have rain and it's going to be 4 degrees on Saturday. So I think that's pushed it back. Plus with the holidays, I'm expecting to have some sort of, not a full preliminary report, but at least some active work out in there before our January meeting, I'm hoping. But that's all weather dependent. It's hard to get land surveyors out there when it's 4 degrees and a foot of snow. So
I believe Banning has all of the information they need from us to begin work on this project.
But debrushing on No Name Creek will be put on the list.
correct.
I mean, it seems to me like that should be near the top of the list.
Okay. I can,
Any other questions for Mr. Surveyor? This is the point in time of the board has any comments.
I got a couple of things. Plan Commission the other day talked about, is there a housing addition coming in Jackson and Morrison?
Correct.
So, you know, I heard about that and I thought, well, that's kind of on the backside of that Stockport thing, or it's in that general area.
Right.
So, I mean, what are your thoughts on
Well,
that?
I sat in on the or on the
It seemed like there was a lot of questions related to that.
I sat in on the subdivision committee. And it's one of my personal things to get done is when I first came into office, we have housing additions all over the county that have drainage in them. They're not ours. We can't work on them, but they're also not the county's because they go through people's yards. So they're off the road right away. It's because when they built these housing additions, the contractor was supposed to come in and designate, who's responsible for that. They build a housing addition, they get out, they move on to the next one, and it's up in limbo. So when this one came in, I talked to the engineers. There's 3 different ones on there. One's for the housing, one for and I made sure that they put in the covenants that the homeowners association or the homeowners are responsible because they have 3 now. They've separated 3 retention ponds that go into the Hyatt ditch or York Prairie as they call it over there, and that they're responsible for the upkeep on all the ponds and all the drainage tiles going in to our Hyatt ditch. If they don't, we have the option to come in, fix the drainage, and then charge the homeowners of the new subdivision. That's how it's been put up in other counties, and that's how we're doing it now. So there's definite who's responsible for this now, because in the years past, even some as soon as 10 years ago, there's nothing in the covenants about who's in charge. And I honestly, with looking at the plans, with the size of these retention ponds that they're putting in there, I think it's actually going to help the drainage around that area, because there's a lot of backup on Jackson when it rains. There's actually a little area right there that's got cattails, probably about an acre.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think they're going to keep that as a wetland, and they're going to basically put a retention pond on one side and then over there. I think that's actually going to help the drainage of that area, is what I'm seeing. With the rate that they're going to discharge that into the Hyatt Creek, it should be an actual help around that whole area as far as drainage. So,
What is the status of that?
right now, it passed the plan commission, passed the subdivision committee, then moved on to the plan commission. They got a favorable vote at the plan commission. So now I think it goes to the city council, or because it's in the city, it's Yorktown Schools, but it's in the city, I believe. Mr. Brand can talk on that. I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, so Stephen Brand, Delaware County Commissioner. I also sit on the Planning Commission. I'd like to commend Mr. Borchers. He did a really good job on the subcommittee, and everything that he just said, I completely agree with. What the Planning Commission did is we approved the plat. So there is no further action by a legislative body.
It seemed like one of the points of contention were that the individual lots were going to be on the small side.
Yeah, so the ordinance has a minimum requirement of 40 feet of frontage on the lots. And I think the smallest lot, if I recall properly from the meeting, was 50 feet. Most of them were 60 feet. There were a few that were 53, but I don't believe anything was less than 50 feet. But the ordinance says minimum of 40. So they did not go to the minimum. So if there's concern with the width of the lots, we need people to come and petition the Planning Commission to change the ordinance. And I agree. I do believe it'll help with the retention ponds, with the rate of discharge from their 3 detention ponds. It will not put all that into that creek all at once. I will say that I don't believe it's going to help anything at Willow Lake. Willow Lake is to the north. And if you go out there and you look at Willow Lake, when the developers built that, they bermed up around the outside of it, and they planted some trees on those berms, which looks pretty, but it holds water. And on that, make sure I have my bearings correct, what would be on the southwest corner of Willow Lake it floods in that area, and the Willow Lake people were a little bit worried that it would flood even worse. I don't believe this development will cause them any additional problems, but I also don't believe it's going to help Willow Lake because of those berms.
My question, on those, the northwest corner of that roundabout, the two side ditches, do they need to be enlarged to bring that water down?
Well, right now, the plan is to have a buried tile come south of Jackson and then into Hyatt. So I do think that there needs to be, I think if there was a proper side ditch along Jackson to begin with, I think a lot of that problem, because like I said, you've got one of the biggest drainage ditches in the county coming right 1,000 feet from that problem area. There should have been a way to get the water there. There wasn't. It stayed there for years, and that's why now it's, I don't know if it's considered a wetland. They're calling it a wetland. That's why it's holding water back. So I think during the construction, that's something that the city will have to look at as far as.
You're talking about where the cattails are now?
I think the cattails, I think they're going to leave that as a designated wetland.
Okay,
Which-
that was a man-made wetland, you know,
Correct.
to keep the water from going
Correct.
south like it was supposed to.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brand.
And then the other thing that I have spoken with attorneys, the office of Brook and Strugel, about becoming the legal counsel for Drainage Board, and they are agreeable to that. And I'm just mentioning that I think that's something that Drainage Board should consider in the future.
Any other comments from the board? Mr. Souffler, I appreciate this.
Yes, no problem. Anytime.
The only thing is Perry Township now in Randolph or Hendricks?
Well, half that's not incorporated.
I don't see any dots out there.
Well,
We're so good out there. I
that's what it
guess.
is. Farmers take such good
Sorry
care.
about that. Approval of the maintenance claims. Any questions?
I do have a question on the claim that was requested by Tim Holsinger. Was that part of the problem that Cody Light came to the board with?
It was a separate problem. This was just a sinkhole. We gave it to a contractor early in the spring. He never got to it. I removed it from that contractor and gave it to another contractor after Mr. Holsinger came in. It was a sinkhole we reported in the spring. We didn't get to it, so now it's fixed. I think they came in together, and I think they were kind of on two different problems. He had a sinkhole that hadn't been fixed. Mr. Light had a different tile. I don't know if it's not the same tile.
Okay. Is Cody Light's complaint still an open issue?
Well, we fixed his tile that's flowing through his property, and I explained to him that, you know, he's sitting at the bottom at the outlet of the tile, and he's got a lot of water that pushes through that tile. So you would think that you're the closest to the outlet, that you would be the first to drain, when it's in fact the opposite most of the time. He's also got a 10-acre lake just north of his property that drains into that. So when we get large rainfall events, that lake fills up. It's always flowing into that tile. He said, you know, weeks after it rains, that tile's still flowing full, and sometimes it pushes out of the breather. Well, there's a lot of pressure on that. So I think he understands that more now. There was some talk about reconstruction. I did explain to him how it works, and he seemed okay with the way it's fixed now, if that makes any sense.
Okay. If he's satisfied, that was my question. Could you also speak a little bit about the JJC claim that was reduced because he still has work on the racer ditch?
Okay, yes, I completely forgot about that. I appreciate you bringing it up. This has nothing to do with me. This was, I went out there the Friday before our last meeting a month ago to see how his progress was getting along. I would say he was 85, 90% done. The only thing he had to do was clean up. Had some large piles of sticks, some about the size of a school bus, and he wanted to turn it in. I said, no, not till you get the cleanup done. And, so then Friday, he sent this invoice in with a 20% off retainage for cleanup. Now, this is a common practice in other counties to hold 20% back until the job is completely done. I've seen it done where, you do some tile work through an area that needs to be planted in grass, they'll hold 20% out, spraying, they'll hold 20% out until they get to see if you get usually it's a 80% kill that they're asking or whatever's in the contract. So he held this out. I don't know if he's seen this in another county. This is not something I talked to him about. He just turned it in, and I forgot to bring it up in the meeting. I apologize.
Do you believe that withholding the 20%, that amount of money would cover having another contractor come in and finish the job if he did not do it?
I do, because I think the only thing there's to do now is to burn or remove some of the piles, and then, just a bunch of kind of handwork sticks, pickup sticks, and some smaller logs that have fallen down or just hadn't been scooped up with the excavator and the bobcat. So I do think that if, honestly, I do think he'll get it done. But if we do have to hire another contractor, I think that's more than enough to get that done.
Isn't JJC a contractor that works for us quite a bit?
Correct.
So going forward, you'd have a little bit of leverage against him.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussions? I motion to approve the maintenance claims as presented.
I'll second it. Have a motion before us, properly second, roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton,
Yes?
Ms. Riggin,
Yes.
Mr. Christie,
Yes.
Mr. Buckle.
Yes. Seeing no other business need to be before the board, movement for adjournment, please.
So moved.
Second?
Before we vote on that, wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 We're adjourned.